Hello, everyone, and welcome to another stream on YouTube. It's one of those, well, I was going to say something smart, but I thought I'd just end there before I say something stupid. So, a bit of best of both worlds there. Going to say something smart, almost said something stupid. But welcome, everyone, in the chat. Just let me move this. Why can I not move this? Okay, there we go. Now I can move it. But welcome, everyone. As you can tell by the title, we got some stuff to talk about in regards to what's probably going to come over the like. What's the date today? For me, it's the 13th, but for most of you, it'd be the 12th. So it's stuff that's going to be happening over the next, I want to say, month to about 6 weeks, because it's going to be interesting to see how they handle things in regards to all this, new season of DC TV and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. But welcome everyone that's coming in the chat. Hello, Jeromix. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, from Kansas. Aaron, Sushi, Hater, Jewel, Mo, Robert. Welcome everyone that's coming in. But yeah, so let's go for a bit. But obviously, as we usually do when we start a stream, or yeah, I guess the live stream thing. I'm always curious to know where everyone is from the world, whether it's somewhere in America or just wherever you are. So I'm always curious. What was this? Sorry, I saw a question that was actually interesting in the chat refreshed. Sometimes it's either slow or it moves normally, or sometimes it just refreshes really quickly. Isaac says, "How are you, Paige?" I'm good. It's early morning. It was just about to go 7:30 in the morning here, but I'm up usually at like 6 a.m. Got the dog, so I always have to walk the dog early in the morning. So due to that, I'm always up. But yeah, so it's not too much of an issue that it's early. Paigey, when does it start? Is in the stream? Then now, I'm not too sure you're referring to there, Carlos. But yeah. Hello, Stephen. Hey, Paigey, good stuff from you as always. Hope you all. Thank you, Stephen. Same back to you. Same back to everyone. Obviously, things are getting better in the world slowly. I guess it depends where you live. As in regards to how fast it's getting. Like pretty much in Australia, everything's back to normal. The only thing is that you can't travel anywhere. That's pretty much the only issue here in Australia. But obviously, it's in other countries there's bigger issues. But obviously, yeah, throughout the stream, we'll jump into like the main topic and we'll spend a bit on that, and then we'll just jump into a like a general Q&A we usually do in the streams and stuff like that. But we'll just wait a couple of minutes and stuff like that. But obviously throughout the stream, if you are, want to leave any questions you want 100% answered, feel free to super chat. Obviously helps the channel during this time. Not forcing you, obviously. But yeah, obviously helps support the channel, especially if you want your question answered. And obviously just keep the chat nice and civil. Don't try and be Edgelord 2003. No one really likes that. Lots of restrictions in England. I think England's like, aren't you guys like regressing back to like months ago because people are being really silly? Like, I think isn't England, or at least parts of England might be, are like regressing. And is regressing even a word? Let's pretend it is, and let's pretend it means going backwards. So I've just been caught off guard by Peter Parker saying he's dropped his phone in the toilet. I'm curious how you've done that. But also I don't blame you at the same time. So hopefully the phone's okay, Peter, there. Hopefully there was nothing in that said toilet. But back to the England thing, and regressing is a word. It is a word, but awesome. It wasn't me just making up a word. Sometimes I feel I'm just making up words half the time. So it's good that it is a word. But yeah, I think England's going like backwards. I don't know how they're... Anyway, it's a bit strange. But yeah. Apparently, Pete's dropped his phone in the shower. Everyone's just dropping their phone in, I don't want to use the word moist, but wet areas. It's all us students' fault, apparently, in the UK. Well, yeah, I think I remember reading something about that. It's pretty insane, to be completely honest. But I'm sure it'll get better. Maybe it's just a blip. But yeah, so we'll jump into the main topic thing. As you can tell by the title. So the Flash finally, and obviously I put the word finally in capitals in the title. So we go, the Flash finally returned to filming last week. Obviously, it was meant to return to filming about a week before, but there was that backlog um, in test results. It wasn't because anyone got COVID or anything like that. It was just that they're only able to use one location to do all the tests, and it got backlogged. So The Flash and pretty much all the shows got delayed a bit. I think the only one that didn't get delayed is probably Superman and Lois. I think that's still meant to start filming in like 2 or 3 days. So I'm sure we'll see something there in regards to that if it does start filming. But The Flash started filming late last week. So it's been filming for about, well, it's been about 4 days, I think, 4 or 5 days since it started filming. But they would have only filmed about 2 or something because obviously there's the weekend and everything like that. So they've got underway filming. I am curious to see when they do any public filming because obviously Batwoman's done a lot of public filming. A lot of the other shows that not necessarily people care about too much, but like people have said, yeah, we've seen this show filming in public, this show filming in public, blah, blah, blah. So it will be interesting to see when The Flash does that because that Flash is obviously one of the big shows. It's like probably top 3 shows in regards to people wanting to get photos and actually go to set and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But at least we know they've started filming and everything like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they come across any delays. It's important to remember Batwoman's been filming for over a month and they haven't had anyone. Hold on, I'll leave that for a second. Yeah, okay, Alexander. Don't spam, please. Like I don't know if it's like you just don't spam. Like it helps because because then I might have to open up and just. It's annoying because usually it's on slow mode. You can't really type. Maybe because I'm using the different service. I think this was an issue the other stream as well, which I didn't fix. But yeah, Alexander, it'd be nice if you stopped spamming. But what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. It was they've been filming for a couple of days. So Batwoman's been filming for about a month or so. So they haven't had any issues in regards to someone on set getting sick or anything like that or contracting said virus and everything like that. So it doesn't seem to be that much of an issue in Vancouver in regards to people getting it and it stopping it. And also, if someone gets it, it won't stop it, I don't think. I think you're just going to see that person get taken off. The only issue there is that obviously if it's Grant Gustin, they could still film, but not for a long time because obviously he's the main actor. He's going to have to be in. He's going to have to film at some point. If he's gone for 2 weeks, they can't just keep filming. They're going to have to stop at some point so they don't get too ahead without him. So there's issues there, but knock on wood. Luckily, I have a wooden table, so knock on wood, nothing happens. But it should be okay. Now, this brings up the other question, and that is when do they start promoting the season more? So when do we get trailers? When do we get promos? When do we get promos in regards to both the I guess the video side with trailers as well as images and posters and various things like that. They only have a limited time with Swamp Thing on air, and I think they will use Swamp Thing as a avenue to show some of this stuff. It just depends when. Obviously, sorry. I'm assuming Alexander. I don't know if you're trolling, mate. I don't know if you're trolling or not because like the server is crashing. But anyway, I'm gonna have to ignore that. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. Yeah, so they've only got a limited amount of time with Swamp Thing there in regards to when they can use that show to promote stuff. And Swamp Thing premiered to good views. I don't know if anyone saw this, but Swamp Thing premiered to 1.1 million viewers or something like that. Which is insane. I don't know if anyone was thinking this, but like 1.1 million viewers is just shy of what The Flash gets. What The Flash was getting towards the end of season 6. 6? We're in 6? Yeah, 6. And Stargirl was around that as well. So I was actually sort of incredibly surprised to see that Swamp Thing got that many views. I was expecting about half of that. I was like, what the hell? I was like, anyway, so there's a good avenue there for them to promote. I reckon they're probably thinking, McMahon, do we start promoting like Batwoman because we have a month's worth of footage? Like as soon as we get some stuff for The Flash, do we chuck another trailer out and stuff like that? It'll be interesting to see what they do, but they do only have a limited amount of time because there's only 10 episodes of Swamp Thing. So that's only going to take them to like early December. So around the normal time they have the mid-season break. But yeah, Why is everyone saying trailer? They just started filming a couple of days ago. There wouldn't be a new trailer. My title doesn't say trailer. It just says new trailers and more because I'm talking about when the new trailers would come out. Anyway, you can spam trailer if you want. I didn't say there's a new trailer. Anyway, yeah, so it will be interesting to see what they do in regards to that because they only have a limited amount of time with Swamp Thing, and I just don't know if they'll promote the show on TV mid-season, like in that Christmas break. I don't know if they would do that. I don't think they ever have. They have released little promos and stuff, but usually it's stuff that would already appear on YouTube and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do in regards to that. Then, as I said, they only have a limited amount of time. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I think we're going to get some sort of public thing. If I say public thing, and it's a weird way, like, because as soon as they start filming in public, that's the way I should word it. When they start filming in public, I think they will release something online, whether it's like a promo picture or something like that, because they did that with Batwoman. Now, obviously, with Batwoman, you could say, well, it's because like Batwoman's having this pretty much like, I don't even know if you'd call it a soft reboot. It's almost like pretty much a complete reboot without making it like a new season 1, if that makes sense. It's still Batwoman season 2. So, I would expect it if they did it with Batwoman, but then again, you could say, well, Batwoman's in like this special area at the moment because of what's happening. So, is this pre-recorded? Why would I pre-record a stream? Anyway, Ethan said, I'm surprised the CW is advertising Swamp Thing on YouTube. Is it? Like, do you mean in regards to just their YouTube channel? Or do you mean like, are there like ads for it? Like, say if like I uploaded a video of, I don't know, me dancing or something, and then like an ad played before it, would it be a Swamp Thing on the CW ad, or are you talking about just like them uploading the what do you call it, the promos and stuff like that? They actually have done a really good job promoting it. So I guess at the same time, I shouldn't be too surprised that it opened to a lot of views in comparison to seeing it's an old show. But they actually did a better job advertising it than DC Universe did, like what, last year or whenever it was. So I'm just looking through the chat again. When will the Batwoman trailer come out? They could release it now. They're in a tricky position. I've said this before, not just with Batwoman, with all the shows. Once they start getting footage, like even if, like once we get to November, pretty much all the shows will be about, at minimum, 3 weeks to a month of filming. That includes Superman and Lois, Legends, Flash, Supergirl, Batwoman, all that. Even Black Lightning, Stargirl. Stargirl starts filming soon. I saw someone talking about season 2. All the actors are pretty much getting into Atlanta now to film Stargirl season 2. I don't think they'll start for like probably another week or two. But yeah, so they're getting close to that. So they'll have, I guess, footage by sometime in November, but I wouldn't expect any Stargirl stuff or Supergirl stuff or even Legends because they're not premiering till much later in the year. So that's a big thing to say. Like if you're sitting there going, okay, when will Legends and Supergirl start filming? Like now they've started filming as well. Will we get trailers for them soon? The answer is probably no, because they won't premiere their new seasons until like what's it now? October. God, like 7-8 months from now. Like we're a while away from them. But if you look at Flash, Superman and Lois, and Batwoman, we're only about 3 months away from them coming out. Like this time's actually going to sort of fly by, especially if they do, like once they start filming and stuff. Like you won't even notice it, especially at the end of the year. End of the years always fly by. They always go by pretty quickly, like with Christmas and everything like that in the new year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. In regards to when they decide to release promos for those shows. But in regards to Batwoman, Superman, Lois, and Flash, as I said, Batwoman's got that like month head start in front of everyone else. So they could release it anytime, but you got to like wait up. Probably you don't want to start releasing promos too early. You know, you don't want to do that. Arush, I'm not going to answer the question if you spam it. That's just like a thing I would say. Jay just asked, how many episodes are there going to be? The Flash is confirmed to film 17 episodes once they start up again. So they've started up. So they're going to film 17. And it's important to remember they already filmed an episode pretty much. They'll do like a couple of days of pickups to finish that episode off. So at minimum, there's 18 this season. However, that's at minimum. If things go well, they'll be trying to do as many as they can. Obviously, not going to do 30, but I reckon they'll try to get up to 20. So that's just 2 more, which isn't like really. That's another 3 weeks of filming, probably, roughly. So that's not too much of an addition, but at a minimum, it looks like it's 18. If the 17 doesn't count that episode that they, filmed for season 6 that never aired. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me too much if they're finishing up episode 17, what the episode 20 was of last season, but now episode 1 is for this season. It wouldn't surprise me if they've just finished that up, or they're finishing that up early in this filming thing, and now they're just about to move on to the proper first episode for season 7, which will be episode 2, if that makes sense. Gary said, with the $2.99 Pagey for President 2020. Well, I don't think I could. Don't you have to be born in? Isn't like one of the requirements to be American president? Don't you have to be born in America? I think isn't that like one of the things? So unless someone can fake some documents, I don't think that'll be happening. But thank you very much for that, Gary. When does the season start? The season starts on. It's weird. A lot of people have been wondering this because usually. So obviously it's starting mid-season, so it's starting in January, but usually you get your first episodes in like the January 20th area, whether it's like the early or late, depends on like what week they want to do it. It wouldn't surprise me too much if we get a premiere early in January. I'd still expect it late January, but it wouldn't surprise me too much if they decided to chuck in an early January premiere. I know on the Superman and Lois thing, it randomly said it was premiering January 5th, which is a Tuesday in America, which is the day it would air on a Tuesday with The Flash. I just don't know if they'd actually premiere on January 5th. It just seems like too early, but then again, they could do it. So I'd expect maybe like the 12th or 19th, but the January 5th is possible for both Superman and Lois and Flash. When is Superman and Lois filming? Well, their scheduled start date was the 15th of October, which is in 3 days in America. So I still expect it then. I don't think they delayed at all. I think they're on target to meet that filming date. I think them and Batwoman, I think, would be the only ones that actually start on the filming date that they're meant to start on. No, The Flash started filming last week, like Thursday or Friday last week. It was meant to start the week before that, but it got delayed because of testing delays. No one on set got COVID. It was just that like the place they do the tests for COVID was backed up, and they had priorities that go over the shows, like I think schools and stuff like that. But yeah. It has started. No, they don't film on weekends, so that'd be a Saturday in America. If it was 2 days ago, so they started on I think it was like Thursday or Friday. But yeah, obviously now we've been going for 18, almost 20 minutes. These go really, really fast. Anyway, but guys, we'll just turn this into a general Q&A. So if you have any questions, obviously fire away in the chat about anything you want to know and everything like that. And yeah, go ahead. Are there any new set photos that you're going to make videos on? It depends. Like I don't like sometimes you get set photos and it's just like Barry standing there. Like there's nothing there. Like if he showed up, like usually I only make set photo videos if it's like something interesting. Like if I'm looking at going, oh, what's happening there? If it's just a general thing like Barry walking with I don't know, Iris or Barry, just walking himself or something along those lines. Like, if there's nothing there that like you can relate to any sort of theory or any sort of story element, then I don't really make a video on it. But yeah, like videos, to be completely honest, going to be down a bit. I still have a couple videos planned, but like they're not going to be like usually like in the off season when the show's on, I still upload every like 2 or 3 days. but there's just nothing to talk about. So I'm not going to like force out a video that's like pointless. I'd rather make a video that's somewhat worth watching. But yeah, if the set photos are interesting, then yeah. But if they're just like, as I said, like Barry walking, then I won't. You know what I mean? What country do I live in? I live in Australia. Did I see the new Batwoman suit? Did they release the new Batwoman suit? I think I would have seen this, and then it'd be bigger. Are you talking about the one that she's wearing? Because that's technically not new. That's just like it's Kate's old suit that she's now wearing. I think that's probably what you mean there. If that's the case, then yes, but technically it's not a thing. What happened to your flashback reviews? I honestly, like, I asked people about it and they thought, yeah, they were okay. It's just that, like, it was cool at the beginning, but it seems like it is a bit repetitive, which I completely understand. Like, if I really need a video, I might do another one. But I know, just seeing that people maybe weren't overly interested in it. But then again, I think the next one is actually a good episode, though. I'm trying to remember what it is. I think it's a season 2 episode it was meant to be. So I might do them. It's just that, like, I'm not going to make it if I didn't, I know it sounds weird, but if I didn't want to do it, if that makes sense, because I was enjoying the series, but, you know, it's just, I think, like, being like motivated to do it. So if I feel like, you know, doing it again, I will. And obviously there is still, like, as I said, like, there's between 3 to maybe like 2.5 months until the shows come back properly. So you could do that. They could come back. Sorry, there's a super chat up here. Mystic, that's the Mystic Flash, but Mystic Fish, with an interesting Mario and Sonic picture. With 299, do you think Joe will ever die like Quinton did? I don't think that'd be the smart idea to kill Joe. I think it'd be fairly forced. I think you can write Joe out of the show in a manner where he doesn't have to die. I think Quinton was hard to write out of the show without him dying. I think you need, like, I think to write Joe out of the show, you can just make him retire. He can just retire. As I said in my video the other day, if like once season 7 ends and contracts run up, if Jesse or Martin wanted to leave, it'd be easy to write him out because you can just have Joe retire. I think that's easy. I think killing him off would be a bit of a. I don't like it when like shows are like, oh, we have to kill off. Oh, just dropped my bottle lid anyway. We have to kill off this. Oh, we have to get rid of this character because they don't fit the story anymore. We'll just kill them. It feels lazy, you know, when like a character's story comes to an end. Instead of just doing something else, they go, we'll just kill them. They get hit by a rock and their head explodes. Like it feels a bit lazy. So I wouldn't want Joe to die. They could make him die, but I would be like, wow, that's silly. So yeah. The Flash season 6 is overrated. I completely disagree. I think it's underrated. I think people slam it so hard, and I have no idea why. It has like one bad episode, in my opinion, which is Lovers of Battlefield. The rest are either just pretty good to actually really good. Like there was a run in season 6. I think it had like 4 or 5 episodes in a row where they were amazing episodes in a row in the back half. You know, like the Grodd episode, the like the Nash Wells Reverse Flash episode, the Wally episode, and there was another episode either just before that or after it. I think it's underrated. I think people give it a really hard rap for like no reason as well. So I disagree there. But then again, opinions are opinions. You can have your own opinion. Silhouetted animated with the $2. Cameron Monaghan should play Creeper in Batwoman. I don't know if he'd come back. I don't even know what he's doing and stuff. I thought he was like on the didn't he get cast in something? I don't know. Maybe it'd be interesting to see what Batwoman does because they got Victor Zsasz coming in and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're going to. I wonder if they've got more liberties in regards to characters they can play with. It was like episodes. Yeah, it was around like I know like they had the Grodd episode, the Wally episode, the Nash Wells episode. There was like an Iris centric episode which was good. I think it was that episode where it was like the Eva flashback episode or something like that. It was something along those lines. But yeah, it was like a run of like 4 or 5 episodes which were really, really, really good. And as I said, I think it's only got one bad episode, which is Lovers of Battlefield. And I think that was made to be intentionally bad. I don't think that was an episode they went, let's try and make a really good episode, and they failed. I think it was meant to be intentionally bad and cringe. There's no way I think you look at that episode and go, they were really trying to make this a work of art. I think it's intentionally meant to be cringe because it was the Valentine's Day episode. Paige, how do you do those audio visuals in your stream? You use a website called StreamYard. It's like the new hot. Oh god, I sound like an idiot there, but it's like the new trending sort of like streaming thing to use. So if you go StreamYard.com, you can stream on YouTube, and it just makes it easier. It puts all the chat in one place. You can bring up comments on screen and stuff. So yeah, StreamYard.com. You should do another Hunger Games. I do it, but the thing is, I don't want to do it too often. I think no matter how big the horse is, you can always beat it dead. So I don't want to, do that too often. But I'd probably do one more Hunger Games before the shows come back. I'd have to think what it would be. If I have to do like a mega Hunger Games, I don't know how many you can do. I think the max you can do is like 36 or 48 people in the Hunger Games. So we can't do it too big, but we can definitely do the biggest possible. I don't think we've done the biggest one possible yet. Did I miss the trailer? Well, the trailer doesn't exist. I don't know how people got that confused. I didn't say there's a trailer. Anyway. The flashback episodes are always superior in each season. I think it's just because it fleshes stuff out, and you actually, because you're forced to have a story. You're forced to have a really contained story, usually in just one episode. So the flashback episodes are always super interesting because you usually know that character before, but you don't know who they were before that, if that makes sense. So that's why flashback episodes are always good. Like that DeVoe flashback episode from season 4 is great. That's a great episode. And even in season 5, the Cicada episode where you learn his backstory, how it led to him, adopting Grace and then the accent stuff. That was the best episode for that character and acting wise, because he wasn't having to, the guy that played Cicada wasn't having to go, like, I don't know, like talk with that weird voice thing that he had. Like he just got to talk normal, act normal, and it was good. So I always love a flashback episode because it's always like bang, 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 bang. It's usually not drawn out or something like that because you only have usually one episode to do it. It's usually pretty quick and done pretty well. I'm assuming people are trolling by people saying, did I miss the trailer at this point? Evie's backstory was in episode 12. So it must have been, was it 12 to 16 that really good episode run was? I think it was. Anyway, I'm thinking too much about episode numbers at the moment. Are the DC? Oh God, I can't speak. Are the DC shows coming to the Arrowverse like having a crossover, like Titans and Doom Patrol? I'd say no. I think it's pretty hard just in regards to where they lie and stuff like that. I'm not sure how they could do that, to be completely honest. I think it'd be pretty hard. But then again, like Titans and Doom Patrol haven't had a proper crossover yet. So, yeah. Justin said, do you think Wally will appear in The Flash Season 7? If so, do you think that he'll appear for an episode or have a few episode arc? I think if he appears, it'll be for one episode, maybe. I don't know. It's the big issue is like the whole COVID thing because they still have to do the 2-week quarantine if you go to Vancouver. So if he was to do it, I think it would be actually a few episode arc if the quarantine thing is still a thing. If it's not, then he could just come back for an episode, but it matters if his schedule lines up. Because I think Keenan Lonsdale's in Australia at the moment. So he's Australian, obviously, and I think he came back to be here during COVID and everything like that, or eventually he came back. So I don't know how quick he plans to go back over to like the Americas or North America and stuff like that. But I'd like to, especially because of the whole new Speed Force thing. I think it'd be warranted to have him back there in some way, but I don't think he's 100% needed, but it'd be cool to have him there. Dr. E. KDM at Pager, the Greenland show is Arrowverse and it is on HBO Max. It's unconfirmed actually where it lies. It hasn't been confirmed in any sort of universe, whether it's the movies and stuff like that. We're led to believe that it's connected to the movies, and that's why Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart aren't in it. And and they'll like lead into the movie stuff, or this series will lead into the movie. But obviously, it's run by Berlanti, who obviously heads up all the Arrowverse stuff. Mark Guggenheim, if you didn't know, is a writer. I think he's only on the first episode. People saying he's only on the first episode, but they're saying he's just a writer for the series. So you got it's pretty much run by all people associated with the Arrowverse. So it's like Berlanti, Guggenheim, Sarah Schechter, Jeff Johns. All of them are associated with the show, and obviously they're all associated with the Arrowverse that came before. So it's going to be interesting to see what that show is, where it lies and stuff. Obviously, I did my video a few days ago, whenever it was, about David Ramsey saying that there was news coming about his Green Lantern. And I'm like, okay, it'd be interesting to see if this was the news that he'd heard was coming out, or if it's something else. It's very interesting. And the thing is, I had that video planned to come out that day, and literally an hour before my video came out, they released that news about the Green Lantern series, which is a bit annoying. Gwendolyn with the $5. Thank you very much for that, Gwendolyn. If you could rewrite a villain that's been on The Flash, who would you choose, and what would you have changed and added? In regards to a major villain, it'd probably be between Cicada. Oh, actually, you know what? To be completely honest, I would say DeVoe. Now that I think about it, I would say DeVoe, and it's not. I actually like DeVoe as a character, but the thing is, I really did not like the body swapping. The body swapping, to the extent that they did it, I think ruined that villain in a lot of people's eyes. And season 4 for a lot of people, I don't know. I think body swapping should have been a thing, but it literally should have been like a 2 or 3 episode arc. It shouldn't have been whatever it was. Like I don't know how long it was. It was like I think it was the majority of the season. I think it went like 10 episodes or something like that. The body swapping went from episode 10 to 18. Okay, so it was like 9 episodes. So it went for pretty much almost half the season. So it should have been like a 2 or 3 episode arc, and they should have made it that he body swaps to frame Barry. So he body swaps into someone else so he can frame Barry for the murder of DeVoe, and then eventually he goes back into whether it is that old body and regains it, or it's a shape-shifting thing and he takes over Ralph, whatever it is. But it shouldn't have gone on for 9 episodes, from episode 10 to 18. It shouldn't have gone on that long. If it goes 2 or 3 episodes, it does that arc, it frames Barry, you get the trial of Barry Allen in the prison and everything like that, him still going to Iron Heights. I think it changes a lot of that season, and a lot of people, respect season. I like season 4. I think it's better than season 5. I think it's better than season 3. But that's one thing I would definitely change, is the whole DeVoe aspect in regards to the body swapping. Because he was OP. He was very overpowered, but in a good way. Like, it was really cool seeing him when he had all those powers and stuff like that. And in regards to what I would have added to him, I don't think it would have added much. I think like once you got that prime DeVoe towards the end of the season, I think he was pretty solid. I don't think I would have added too much to season 4 story with him. I think it was pretty solid, but I think that's what I would change. That's how I think I would rewrite a villain slightly. Obviously, there's a whole Savitar aspect as well, might I say. But I think that's like really, it's easy in hindsight to see how they could have done stuff, but I think they're making it like turning Iris into like a tool of sorts, or a plot device rather than a character, was a bit of an error there. And I think Savitar just being a version of Barry was honestly, it was a bit lame. But that's just me. I know some people liked it, which is fair enough. Zazman Reviews with the $5. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that, Zazman. Do you think Arrowverse could end and a new DC TV universe starts as a result? I don't know if when Arrowverse ends, DC TV in general ends. Lol, love you. Well, thank you. Well, it does have the HBO Max stuff, but I've seen people saying, "Oh, CWDC is gone once the Flash ends." They just started Batwoman. They just started Superman and Lois. They'll probably start another show as well, and maybe even another one after that. I think I said this it was either my last stream or the stream before that. The CW, like the Arrowverse stuff, or the CW verse, whatever you're going to call it, DC on the CW, it'll go until like probably another 5 to 6 years or something like that. It'll go on for like another half a decade at least. Yeah, especially if you have like that, because you got to remember it's network TV. We got one on this whole thing the other week, whenever it was. Network TV is still super important to have because not everyone can afford these streaming services, especially HBO Max, which is going to have like this Green Lantern show and some other stuff. That's $15 a month. Some families can't afford that, especially if you've already got Netflix and Disney Plus. Like, people just can't afford that. People live week to week. They don't have a massive disposable income, especially $15 a month for streaming stuff. So network TV is still super important to have, and you actually make money instantly off network TV. All these streaming services are in deficits for years. Like Netflix is still in debt. So like I don't even know how long it's going to take HBO Max to make money back, especially if they're forking like hundreds of millions of dollars into series where you're not getting that ad money and stuff like that. So network TV is still going to be profitable for Warner Brothers and DC and everything like that. But eventually they'll want to put it all in this one streamlined place, probably in 5 to 7 years, whatever it is. HBO Max is probably like $10 a month max. It probably won't be $15. But yeah, it won't be ending like next year or anything like that. It'll still go for like 5-6 years or something. It just matters what the shows are that's on there. That's the big question. Gary asked, is the Flash getting delayed later in January? Okay, went on the screen. There we go. Is the Flash getting delayed later in the January? And are you mad at me? And will Flash still have 22 episodes? And do you think they won't go on until March? No, later in January. I'm not mad at you. It'll probably have, to saying it before, it's got at least 18. I think it'll probably go up to 20. They said that they weren't gonna have a full season, which is 22. So I think 20 is probably the max. Then again, who knows? I don't know what you mean. Do you think they won't? Do you mean they won't premiere till March? No, they'll premiere in. There's no way they can't premiere in March. It has to premiere in January because if they premiere in March, that means Supergirl, like Stargirl, and all that won't be able to premiere till like August or something like that, and they won't have time to air their seasons. So it'll be premiering in January. It won't get delayed. It won't get delayed. They have enough time. I'm assuming you've literally been here for 2 seconds, MZ. I'm sure you've literally been here for 2 seconds. I missed a super chat. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go to my different thing here. So give me 2 seconds. I'll look through the chat while I'm doing this. I like HBO Max because it's free. Yeah, I think I don't even know. I think it's free for a couple of different what do you call it? What do you call them? Providers. What one did I mention? Okay, I missed the super chat from Silhouetted Animator with the $2. Will Ralph turn into Sue and have himself arrested? I don't think so. I think they said that Ralph is going to appear once more in the season. But it's going to be played by, I think they're going to do it in like a humorous way. I think it might be Tom Cavanaugh that plays him. So it's like Ralph pretending to be Nash or something like that. I think that's how they'll do it. It'll be interesting to see how they, quote unquote, write Ralph out for this however long. They say there's like the potential for him to come back. I don't see Ralph coming back. As I've said before, like I think it's either it's Hartley Sawyer or it's no one. I've always said that. So yeah, I don't think they'll do that. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Sue though, because the only reason she's on the show is because of Ralph. So when Ralph's out of there, how do they make her relevant? So that'll be interesting. Oh, well, there you go, Justin. I just answered that question. Gary asked, is Flash to have 20? If Flash does have 20, they won't break until episode 8. They won't break at all. They won't break. They won't have a set break. They'll have a forced break because, as I'm sure most of you know, they're going to have that March Madness, which would be, and what's that? Well, obviously it's in March. So I don't know what episode that's going to be. It'd be like maybe like by that point we might be on like episode maybe around 8, but maybe like 10 or something like that. So I have to have a week break at some point there. But all the shows will. Like Superman will also have to have a break on that day as well. Then on Sundays and stuff, Batman will have to have a break because there's going to be like the Oscars and everything like that. So there's going to be breaks that the shows have to do because it's just stuff that is on that they have to, and like Super Bowl and stuff like that. So there'll be breaks, but they won't be like set breaks. So like, here's the break in our story. Let's have a break, 3-week break in the calendar. They won't do that. And also they have to get through episodes as well, because there's not infinite time in a year. So I'm just going through the chat. So is the Swamp Thing on CW the same one in DC Universe? It's pretty much the same. They just sort of like quickly cut away from like any sort of like an over amount of violence, and then if they swear, they like blur over the person's mouth and just sort of like make it silent. They like go or something like that. So it's like, hi, I'm yeah, but it sort of like just fades out when they sort of swear. It's sort of weird. You have to watch it, like, and they blur over the mouth quickly. It's done in like a pretty subtle way. Like if you hadn't watched Swamp Thing before, you might not even notice it. Like the thing is, if watching on the CW was your first time watching Swamp Thing, I don't think you'd actually notice the edits. It's not that obvious. The biggest like thing you notice when you're watching the show is that when they cut to commercials, it's cut in a really weird way when it goes to commercials. That's the only thing that's sort of like off guard or catches you off guard. Gary with the $1, thank you very much for that, Gary. Have I watched Lucifer? I've actually never watched Lucifer. I know people might hate me for that. I've never watched Lucifer. I should, but maybe I might wait till like the whole series is over or something, but I've never watched it. I've seen like clips and that's about it. What am I watching at the moment? Actually, let me know in the chat what shows. I usually used to always ask this. I'm an asshole. I never ask anymore. What shows are you watching at the moment? Like, just name one show. Like, what's the one show you're watching right now that you're liking? I'm watching The Haunting of Bly Manor at the moment. I'm like 3 episodes in or something like that. It's pretty good. So I only started watching it last night, and I got too late, and I was like, "Is this going to get scary?" So I turned it off, and also I was a bit tired. I want to fall asleep while watching it. But I'm watching that at the moment. I'm liking it. Lovecraft Country. I'm behind on that, but I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to leave until this season. I think it's only got a couple of episodes left, so I'm going to. I was really enjoying that, but I wanted to leave until it's over because I enjoy watching stuff weekly, but I was like watching other stuff as well, so I thought I'll wait till it's all over. Yeah, The Boys was. I don't know. Actually, if you're watching The Boys as well, let me just take a quick sip of water. If you're watching The Boys and you finish season 2, what did you prefer, season 1 or season 2 of The Boys? I'm actually very curious. Because to me, when I was watching season 2, I was like, maybe I enjoy this more than season 1. But I think once I finished season 2, I was like, I think I enjoyed season 1 more. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe other people prefer season 2. Maybe that's just me. Prison Break. I know so many people that watch Prison Break when they just like. I guess it's a long show to watch. Yeah. So Charles says season 1 was. I think season 1 was probably better. But then again, like I need like to like marinate, if that makes sense. I think season 1 probably overall the story was better, but season 2 probably had more crazy moments. I just don't know whether like story wise it was better. Cobra Kai, that's on Netflix now, so everyone's like watching that now. I think I watched like the first few episodes when it was on like YouTube, because it was like a YouTube show. It was like a YouTube, whatever they call it, like that premium, whatever it was, YouTube Red, whatever it was. I think they made the first 2 episodes free or something once, and I think I watched the first 2 episodes then. Would you do breakdowns for The Boys? I was actually thinking about it before season 2 started. And in retrospect, I probably should have because of all the COVID stuff and all the delays. But yeah, I just didn't. I thought it would be like it'd be like a really saturated, but actually it turned out like actually not many people did videos on it. So in retrospect, maybe I should have done it. I thought everyone was going to, like a lot of people were going to do videos on it, and I probably should have. But well, learned a lesson. Maybe I'll do that in season 3. Whenever that comes out. I think they start filming that next year, so probably like over a year away from that coming out, or around a year away. But yeah. Oh, sorry, I missed your super chat earlier, Gary. Let me go. I saw it and just missed. Oh, I'm gonna have to open up another chat. Give me 2 seconds. That was me being very silly. I saw that and just like faded off mentally. Give me 2 seconds to bring it up over here. Gary with the $2. How's the virus in Australia? In Texas, it's doing, I think, okay. I'm not too sure what that says, but in Australia, it's pretty much non-existent. I think there's like one. I think like in the past like couple of days, there's been like one new case or something like that. I think it's like non-existent. Like there's no things you have to do here. Like no one wears a mask because it's not here. I think you only have to wear a mask if you're like the doctors or any sort of like hospital thing, and that's just like precautions. Like you don't have to worry if you go to the shops or anything like that. Do you think the boys and the boys spin-off will cross over? I don't know. The sound of that boys spin-off just sounds like, because the reason the boys are so good is because the characters are so good. It's not necessarily because the universe is amazing. It's just because they do a really good job writing the characters. So if they don't do the same with the spin-off, I think the spin-off could suck, to be completely honest. If they just try to make this spin-off edgy and, oh, here's some R-rated, college superhero stuff, I reckon it'd be lame. I think it'd be super, super lame. It'd be like, this sucks. Like, no. Like, the reason that the boys is really good is because you have really good writing in regards to the characters. The characters are interesting. Even the ones that are evil, you still like sort of like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And what was I going to say? And like the acting is really good. You got the actors as well. I don't know. I think that spin-off is a bit forced. I don't know if I just saw the news of it. I was like, oh, okay, well, interesting. As I said before, I don't answer anything that's spamming. Don't spam the chat, otherwise I just won't answer the question. I'll purposely ignore the question. Aeon asked, page one of the Flash start filming. We actually started filming a couple, almost a week ago, about 5 days ago. Yeah, I gotta change my settings in regards to the spamming stuff. Because it doesn't have it here. So I think I have to go into actually the YouTube settings when I launch this stream and then change it to slow mode or whatever it is. So I'm gonna have to do that next stream. I keep forgetting to do it. I actually know how to do it. But yeah, so that's just my bad. Unless I can do this. But actually, we're towards the end of the stream anyway. We're only going to go for like another 15 minutes or anything. So it's actually sort of pointless doing it now. But I'll make sure to do it next stream. Because, yeah, I agree. The spamming's sort of getting annoying. Have you ever watched Once Upon a Time? No, I've seen it on Disney Plus. I've never watched it, though. Is Stargirl going to officially have a crossover with the other shows next season? I would say if COVID wasn't a thing, I'd say they'd probably try to make a Flash one. But with COVID, I don't know if they can do it. I don't know if they can. I was on set of the Batman today. Ooh. I saw some of those set photos. It looks like they're filming like that funeral scene from the trailer. Like the exterior, I guess, of people like walking in or walking out. But yeah. I think the big issue with the Batman is I think they're filming in Liverpool, which is meant to be like one of the most like affected areas in Liverpool in regards to like the virus and stuff like that, which is, I guess, quite interesting. Is Jessie alive? No, I think she got yeeted along with good old Harry Wells. How far into the new season do you think they'll discover the new multiverse? Or how far into the season do you think they'll discover the new multiverse? Well, I wouldn't even say it's guaranteed. I would like to think they would in some way, shape, or form, or at least by the end of season 7. But it depends story-wise whether it fits in. But I think they will. I don't know if you can rule out the multiverse being a thing, especially with the Flash. I think they got to have that in there in some way. Paige, do you think Barry will use a negative speed force? You could argue that them like creating this new speed force could have some like negative connotations to it, where maybe it's like similar to that. I don't know if it necessarily Barry will use the negative speed force like Reverse Flash does, but maybe this new speed force has like similar properties or something like that. Something along those lines. Where do they shoot the Flash? They shoot the Flash in Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, I think it pretty much is all over there, around the city and everything like that. Will the Batwoman crossover be delayed? No, the Batwoman crossover is happening beginning of next year sometime. So I don't think it's going to happen like right at the beginning of the seasons, but I don't know, somewhere in there. Like I expect it maybe like April or May next year, something like the back half of both of those seasons. Yeah, they wouldn't. If it got delayed until fall 2021, that would be like when the new season starts. That would be like when season 8 of Flash starts, season 2 of Superman and Lois, season 3 of Batwoman and stuff. They just have the normal crossover at that point. So the Batwoman crossover would be sort of redundant at that point. Batwoman is not going to be the best. You can't really. I don't know. I think it's rough to even predict that because I thought that Batwoman probably had the most consistent back half of last season. In regards to all the shows, definitely was the most improved. It was 100% the most improved show. Come the back half of their season, it was sort of rough they didn't get to finish. Like I think them and the Flash got a really hard go because Batwoman finished with like 2 episodes to go that they're meant to have, and Flash with 3. They didn't get to finish their proper seasons, so they got a rough ride in regards to that. I have to sleep and have homework, so answer this, please. Do you think not getting Grant to play as Superman in Crisis was a wasted opportunity? I think it would have been weird. I think Grant necessarily like screams, "Look at me, I'm Superman." They could have had him play someone else. It would have been interesting to see how like a doppelganger of like Grant play someone else from the DC world and stuff like that. But I don't think it's like they could. You know what they should have done? I think it should have been perfect. Is had Grant play a version of Jimmy Olsen from. He should have played the Jimmy Olsen to Brandon Routh's Superman. That's what they should have done. He should have been the Jimmy Olsen, and all he did was appear on screen for one quick bit. Like he comes in and goes, "Mr. Kent," blah blah blah. You know, he says that, and it's like clearly he's Jimmy Olsen. They should have made him Jimmy Olsen on Brandon Routh's Superman's Earth. That would have been the perfect little cameo thing. Well, not a cameo, but like a little doppelganger thing, if that makes sense. Gary Gamon with the $2. How come they have not released a Batwoman trailer? Because as I was saying before, it's like they're in a tricky position where with Batwoman they would have a month's worth of footage now, and they could if they wanted to. Like really, when they go to Comic-Con normally and they release a trailer at Comic-Con, that's only what do you call it? It's about 2 weeks, I think. Trying to remember how long it's about 2-3 weeks they usually have for that footage. They have a month now, but the issue they have right now is that the show's not coming out till January. So we're about 3 weeks, about 3 months around 3 months until the show could potentially start. And it's like, well, do you release a trailer then? Do you show that same promo for, a period of time if the show's not coming out for a while, especially if you don't know a release date? So they could have footage ready for a trailer. It's just, I don't think they'd be rushing to release it. I think you're going to start getting them in like November or something like that. And when I say November, I think more like the back half. So I'm not saying like 2 weeks or something. I'm saying like once we get to like halfway through November, maybe that's when you could start getting some stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a question like, oh, how come they haven't done it yet? Because I don't think they'd be rushing to do it. I feel like the spam comment page you made was towards me. No, I can tell you it wasn't towards you. It was towards 2 other people. Definitely wasn't towards you. Yeah. Page 1 with a Flash on Netflix. Is season 6. Season 6 is on there. So season 7, I get whenever it ends next season. So next year, sorry. So like what, May or June? May or June, roughly. What are your thoughts on the WandaVision trailer? It looks interesting. It's weird that that's going to be the first Marvel show that comes out. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do because apparently it's meant to like rip open the multiverse or something for Marvel. So that'll be interesting. Do you watch Dark on Netflix? It's the best travel show ever. No, I've seen it. Isn't it like a German show or something? I think it's like a German show. Or am I thinking of something else? I think that's like the German show I've seen. I've seen like the trailers for. But no, I haven't watched it. Like the actual show. When did Danielle Panabaker come back on The Flash? I'm not too sure. Because obviously they set her up at the end of last season that she was going away for a bit, but they might. They probably. I think Eric Wallace said something where like them change that around because of what happened. So I think she's probably going to come back into the story earlier than what they would have originally intended. So I think instead of being gone for maybe like 3 episodes minimum, she might only be gone for an episode or 2. So she might be back by like episode 3 come next season. Do you think the Flash's identity will be revealed towards the end? I don't think so. I don't think I'd do that. Like I think we already got too much of an issue with Barry revealing his identity. Most people are miscast on CW shows. Well, what do you mean by miscast? I think they pretty much get their main cast spot on. Like the CW is really, the one thing they're really, really good at is nailing casting for their leads. The only one they could argue that they maybe misstepped a bit at the beginning was probably Ruby Rose, but outside of that, they really are pretty good. And they don't think we have too many fails in regards to nailing the casting of their leads. You can argue, okay, well, maybe this villain wasn't the best casting, or this side character or something like that wasn't the best casting. But in regards to like getting the title figure on your show, they usually nail it. So you can argue pretty much every other show is like that. If they don't, they'll nail every other show in regards to like not their main character, they'll get a miscast because the character has to be on the screen a lot for you to understand whether they've been miscast or not. Is he Australian? The answer is C. What will they do if Candice Patton leaves after season 7? I don't know. I don't know what they would do story-wise. As I've said like multiple times before, the only one that really matters in regards to whether they leave or not is obviously Grant. They can't do the show if Grant leaves. So he's the only one that really matters. Everyone else in the show could leave. As long as Grant stays, they're sweet. They can keep doing the show. If Candice was to leave, I don't know how they write out Iris. I don't think that, once again, I go back to my point about Joe. I wouldn't want them to kill her. I hate when they just randomly kill characters just to say, oh, there's them leaving. Unless they were literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, and maybe killing was the easiest way to do it. Like it stopped questions being answered. But I have no idea. I have no idea how they would do that, to be completely honest. That's probably one of the harder ones to do in regards to writing out Iris. What has happened with Godspeed? Well, we just know he's the threat for the first half of the season. So if anything, we might get some set photos with Godspeed over these next couple of weeks. Saying he's meant to be the threat for the first half. And might get some. I am interested. They haven't released any casting for The Flash. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. They haven't released any casting for The Flash, Supergirl, anything like that. They haven't released any new casting. Batwoman got like tons when they started filming, but all these other shows haven't. So I'm very curious as to why that is the case. Are they keeping it a secret? Do we have to become detective mode and look through people's Instagrams to see who they're following? Maybe. Who knows? Because actually, first thing, I think it was the girl who plays Mirror Master, or Eva. Candice Patton started following her like I think 2 or 3 days before the news came out that she'd been cast, and everyone I think it was just on Twitter, people saying like Candice started following this actress. What does this mean? And everyone looked at it and was like, I don't know, just probably some random friend she has in LA or something. But it was like, no, she got cast as Mirror Master a couple of days later. So all the news came out. So I don't know, if you want to stalk the actors' Instagrams, look who they're following, you might find out who's a new actor this season. You might find out the identity of Godspeed. Who knows? Are they going to make an Arrow season 9? No, Arrow's done. Would I like Brandon Routh to return as Superman? Of course I would. I'd love like an HBO Max show with him. That'd be really, really, really cool. Paige, do you want a Final Flash and Supergirl crossover? Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not dying for it, but I don't think it'll happen. I think you'll see Barry in the Supergirl finale, the Supergirl series finale, but I don't think you'll. Oh, I guess you count that as a Flash Supergirl crossover, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, guys, we've been going for an hour. Time goes, time flies, and having fun. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream now. I'll probably have a video, maybe not tomorrow, but the next day. But thank you everyone that joined the chat, had a chat. Obviously, anyone that super chatted to support the channel, obviously, is greatly appreciated as well. And hopefully we get some news and stuff to talk about in the next week or so. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we'll have a good day. Stay safe. Eat your vegetables, drink your water, and of course, dab on them haters. And I will catch you sometime later. Goodbye.